How would you feel if you knew someone who was getting away with murder in plain view of the law? How would you feel if the murders were being done by a respected professional? What would you do about it? I'm talking about abortion. I have a daughter and another child on the way, and after just 4 weeks, I've seen evidence of life, and I could never at any point justify aborting them without considering it to be killing a life. Abortion is murder. And over the next few minutes, I'm going to explain that 1, why abortion is considered murder by definition and supporting facts. 2, how God views life and why he thinks it's valuable. And 3, alternative ways to prevent abortion from being a choice. Merriam-Webster defines abortion as the termination of a pregnancy after, accompanied by, resulting in, or closely following by the death of the embryo or fetus through spontaneous or induced expulsion of the human fetus. It is defined as death of an embryo or fetus here. Wouldn't something have to be living to be qualified to die? Even man's definition states that abortion claims the life of an unborn fetus. So why is it considered murder? Well, the issue of abortion becomes a debate about where life starts. So we'll look at the first 28 weeks of pregnancy and some key factors as to the development of a child. At conception, all the DNA is there to make us who we are. At 18 days, the baby has a heartbeat. By 4 to 6 weeks, many other organs have developed. By 8 weeks, the baby has many features developed, such as face, arms, legs, and fingers. At 16 weeks, the baby should have a fully developed heart and blood vessels, and even fingertips. By 20 weeks, the baby has movements, can respond to sound, and has already developed its sexual organs. By 28 weeks, the baby is around 2 pounds and can survive a premature birth. So after only 6 months after conception, the baby is developed enough to live outside of the womb. When would you consider the point of life for the child? By conception, the DNA is already there to start the process of creating the life form. Shouldn't this be the point where we acknowledge the growth of a living being? How should it be described if it is right to kill an unborn fetus? And should it be the mother's choice? Well, let's look at some statistics from the Center of Disease Control. Out of the 3 million unintended pregnancies, approximately 840,000 of them are aborted every year. There was a ratio in America in 2007 where 234 abortions were per 1,000 pregnancies. And 21% of women say that they had abortions because they didn't think they could afford a baby. Another 21% said that they didn't want to be responsible for the child. Another 16% said that they didn't want their life to change. 12% said they didn't want a problem in their relationship with their spouse or boyfriend. Only 3% had a possible health problem, and only 1% were due to rape or incest. So this shows that 70% of abortions were out of convenience, not necessity to the health of the child or the mother. When did we allow a single person the right to decide to kill a living human being over such self-centered reasons? Let's look at a few scriptures to see how God values life. Isaiah 44:2. I am your creator. You were in my care even before you were born. Here we can see that God knew us and cared for us before conception, and before our definition of conception, we were already conceived by our Heavenly Father. Jeremiah 1:5 supports this when God tells Jeremiah, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations. Again, we see that before our birth, God has predestined our life for a purpose. And last, let's not forget the 10 Commandments, Exodus 20:13, thou shalt not kill. Life is valuable to God. We are valuable to God. So after we've established that life is indeed evident as early as 18 days after conception, and that God finds this life valuable, there are actions that we can do to prevent abortions from being a choice. Contraceptives. Condoms and varieties of birth control methods are available to help people from getting pregnant before they are ready. Some methods of birth control can be implanted under your arm and can last up to 5 years. This may be ideal for a young mother who is not ready for a parental commitment. Adoption is a great option too. While termination of a pregnancy may seem like an easier choice, adoption can be a way to have a baby even if the mother isn't ready for the responsibility of the child. According to Adoption.com, there's an estimated 120,000 adoptions per year in America, with some agencies having waiting lists up to 7 years. No child is unwanted. Many agencies even stay with you through the entire process and offer financial and counseling support. educate is another key alternative to the choice of abortion. Knowing the responsibility of having a child can help a woman understand the seriousness of pregnancy. While unintended pregnancies do occur, there are programs, classes, and counseling available to young females. Also, many women are unaware of their body's fertility cycle and when the ideal time of conception is. Educating on this to them would help them not get pregnant so easy. And last, the abortion process should be taught. Abortion procedures can be dangerous and can cause permanent damage internally to organs and psychological. These are just a few ways to inform women about their body and the significance of making responsible choices concerning pregnancy. So life starts at conception. Our children depend on us for those first vital months during pregnancy. That doesn't make them expendable. We would consider it unethical to kill disabled veterans if they relied on help, or the elderly who loses basic functions over the years and needs assistance. We also see that God has a purpose for life, and who are we to cut his purpose short due to our own interpretations of when we believe life begins? With so many alternatives to abortion, why is it such a common option? It should not be the first option. It shouldn't be an option at all. Abortion is murder, and I challenge each of us here to make a stand against it by being proactive and voicing that it is the killing of a human life. Who will be the next great inventor, or the next best-selling writer? Who will be the next leaders that will help keep our world morally accountable? Our mission is to preserve that life and to not forget that our decisions today can affect things to come. So let's take a stand. Thank you.